right, everyone, welcome back. Today we are talking with Chantae McMillan, one of our agent heroes. And before we jump into that conversation, I just want to remind you all what our agent heroes are. So Chantae, like most of our, or all of our other real estate agents in our network of agent heroes, are all military connected real estate professionals that we have vetted here at MILLIE to make sure that you have the best experience possible when it comes to purchasing or selling a home at, around, near a duty station or elsewhere. These folks are veterans and military spouses who are standing by to help you out with a big purchase. But actually, I'm so excited to be talking to Chantae for a few other reasons. So first of all, welcome. I'll read your bio in a second. I'm like busy girl crushing, as I told you earlier. So glad you're joining us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah. So I finally had a reason to bring her on. I mean, she's like so next level, you guys. Chantae is a professional track and field athlete and an Olympian, like Olympics. I wish you were wearing short sleeves so we could show off
Oh,
your
sorry.
your rings. Heptathlon athlete. Before I go any farther, I need to know, actually, I don't know what that means. I know you specialize in the javelin and that it's a cross and field event. Can you tell me quickly what a heptathlon is?
Yeah, once again, thanks for having me. And it was great hearing all about Fort Campbell. That's where I was actually born. And
Cool.
I'm still 33 years later, I'm still like, was I born in Kentucky or Tennessee?
Oh my God. If you
It's
were born on
Kentucky.
base, it was Kentucky, just so you
Yes,
know. Okay, good. There you go. You're
yes.
welcome.
So yeah, I used to do the heptathlon. That's what I made the Olympic team in 2012, and now I've transitioned to just javelin. And I think I'll train 3 more years and then call it a career. I've been a professional track and field athlete for 11 years now. I can't believe
Wow.
I've been doing track for this long.
That is so great. Well, so you've also sort of made a bit of a pivot into real estate, which we'll talk a bit more about later. But I'm super curious about how, like, it's cliche, it sounds to ask, but it's such a big deal. Tell me about your road to the Olympics, though. Like, where did this all start? How did you get there? Like, it's just such a cool story. We'd love to hear it.
Yeah, so I forgot to tell you what the heptathlon is. It's
Oh,
7 events, 100 hurdles, shot put, 200. I'm forgetting the order of my event that I did for so long. Javelin, 800, high jump, long jump, and it's over a 2 day period. It sounds exhausting, but you train for it, and it's so fun to me. I miss it sometimes. Sometimes
mm,
I was did that in college at the University of Nebraska, and I just kept getting better and better at it every single year. And my coach was like, it was 2011. I just graduated. He's like, so do you want to train 1 more year? And I was like, yeah, I guess. Yeah, Olympic trials are next year. We can train 1 more year and then I'll be done with track. But then, like I said, here I am 11 years later as a track and field athlete. But that's what got me to the Olympics. And 2011, I actually blew out my patellar tendon in August 2011. So I rehabbed for actually half the year of my prepping for the 2012 Olympic trials. And that is what makes my story of making the Olympic team that much greater. It's just, I had to deal with this huge injury and then I made the team. Like, who does that?
wow. Yeah, no, really, because my husband, he does athletic things. Just leave it there. But he's always, if ever there's a setback, and usually there's some competition that he's like, oh, it's gonna like, not only am I gonna lose time, but I'm gonna have to double up to be able to
Mm,
make up the time. So yeah, just wow, that's incredible. In your bio, you mentioned a helicopter pilot.
yeah, no
Which
big deal.
lands you here in our realm, the military spouse realm. Tell me about that. Where did that come from? How has that intersected in your training? Super curious to hear more about that.
Yeah, I am now an Army spouse because my
Hmm.
husband, we met actually in Ohio where I was training, and then he decided to join the Army late in life
Mm.
and become a street to seater and become a helicopter pilot. And it's so fascinating to think about every single day that, like, now talking about it, I'm just like, this guy can fly a helicopter. And like, I've seen the inside of this, and there's so many buttons. I would have no idea where to start.
Yeah,
But yeah,
you
we're in
guys are
Army now. Yeah.
power couple to the max. Like it's super. I'm just gonna say it's a little intimidating, but
Yeah,
um,
my son has a lot to live up to.
oh, bless. Yeah. And your son's 3, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Devin. So sweet. Okay. First thing I want to know is like how do you prioritize? You mentioned your injury. I mean, like there's a ton of training. It's your full-time job when you're a professional athlete. Like I think sometimes we forget that like, oh no, this is everything that you do. How do you maintain that and also deal with something like a PCS? So maybe first of all, have you PCS during your Olympic training? Well, I guess you're still training. Yeah. How do you do it? How do you do
Yeah.
that? How do you maintain any kind of balance and a regimen during all that?
Yeah, we just moved. We're in Virginia now at Fort Belvoir. We were at Fort Rucker where he did all this helicopter school. So we just moved here this past summer. So I moved to Ohio last winter. So I left him in Alabama to finish up his flight school, and I had to go on my own and train. I took our son, and my mom came and helped as well. So family is huge in this aspect. So I was living in Ohio for 6 months, and he actually took care of our PCS this time while I was training for the Olympic trials this past summer. So I was just like out of sight, out of mind with the move. And I was like, you have to take care of all of this because I am training for the Olympic trials.
Not nothing. Yeah. So I'm hearing delegate, I'm hearing geobatching, and these aren't common, although training for the Olympics isn't a common thing to do. So I wonder how we can translate that. So I have a hard enough time just staying on any kind of routine during everyday stressful events, let alone an actual PCS move. What tips would you give us normals to maintaining how do you prioritize yourself in a way that makes room for the obligations that you have, because like you weren't dealing with PCS necessarily, but you were still caring for your child and keeping up with your professional endeavors, and it's just there's so much going on there. How do you prioritize yourself in a way that doesn't feel selfish?
Yeah, one, my husband's schedule changes week to week, so I have no idea how to make a firm schedule week to week for our lives and my
Mm.
own training and my own career goals. So that's something we deal with every single day. So I'm like, what are you going to do today? How can I adjust my schedule? Where does our son fit in? Where does my like continuing education fit in, my training? But at the end of the day, I am selfish. That's something I learned from my mentor is you have to be selfish to get ahead. So I remember that I am priority to take care of myself. And if I don't get my training in, then I am unhappy. You can ask my husband. I am not pleasant to be around if I do not get my physical exertions out. So always remember to be selfish to take care of yourself. I'm just going to say that. And then everything else will fit in and everything else will be more pleasant because you're happy.
I have two adages. One is if mama ain't happy, nobody's happy, first of all,
Right.
right?
It's
But then
true.
I love that. You have to be selfish to take care of yourself. I mean, because no one else is going to do it the same way that you
Mhm.
will. And no one else
Yeah.
is going to know what your needs are. I
Yeah,
mean,
you can
that's
get lost in
yours.
all of it. Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I think that's going on a wall somewhere in my house.
Be selfish. No.
Uh-huh. Okay, so I mean, you've kind of already had a career, right? That was a whole career and you're kind of pivoting out of it. I think you're probably always going to still be attached to your prior life as an Olympic athlete. But talk to me about this career pivot into real estate. Like what kind of led that decision? What is that? What's that like? And
Mm.
how are you once again prioritizing yourself in that and making it work with your military spouse lifestyle?
I've always enjoyed houses. My parents were in the army. We've moved my entire life. So I know how to move and my own career has made me move every few years. So what's one thing with PCSing? I don't stress cuz it's going to happen and just pack up the important things that you don't want to break or you don't want to get lost and take them yourself. That's one thing to always remember. But I got into real estate because I wanted to focus on our own investment opportunities moving forward in our lives, my husband and I. And then also just it's fun. Learning everything that I've been learning so far from my mentor in it is just amazing. And I'm finding out from my own perspective that I want to help military families and then professional female athletes as well. So those are my two focuses personally. And that's the directions that I'm trying to take my career in real estate.
That's all. Okay, so now I'm just curious. When you talk about being a real estate agent and then focusing on sports entertainment and military families, talk to me about your vision there. Like what does that look like?
So, from the sports and entertainment perspective, my mentor is the head of that globally. So, that's where I'm learning that aspect of it. And the only sports he talks about are male sports. So hockey, the soccer team here, the NFL, Major League Baseball. And I'm like, hey, there's professional female athletes too.
Mm-hmm.
So that is
Who
where
probably aren't
I,
getting paid enough, but that's, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes.
yeah, exactly. Working on that too.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm just going to step up and see where I can open the doors and windows for that opportunity for us, and then for female athletes, just for buying, selling, leasing with their own careers, and then even investment opportunities that they never thought of.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Yeah, I love
Yeah,
that. I'm thinking specifically of just wealth management in general, and how a
exactly.
lot of times folks that are they enter in either entertainment or it's all clicking now, Chantae.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a dumb question now that I'm thinking it through. But yeah, people aren't typically equipped. I mean, if they have a talent and a skill in something, doesn't necessarily mean that they have had an upbringing that lended itself to understanding real estate portfolios or
Yeah,
investment opportunities. So
exactly.
that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Amazing work.
And then
Um,
with the military families, that's where I come from. That's who
yeah,
I want to help. I know about the process. You need a house now, not later, not this time. You need it now. So
right,
we work fast, and this climate of real estate is crazy, and you have to work fast either way. So
right. So you're in Northern Virginia now. Do you know where
mhm.
next? Is that on the horizon? Do you still have some time to take a breath or
Still have time. We have no
good?
idea about
We're going to talk to EJ about uncertainty, so hang
yeah.
around. Yeah. And then one last kind of random question that popped into my mind. What are some lessons that you want your son to learn from this experience and these experiences specifically since you were a military brat and then you're raising one now? What are some things that you want him to be able to or to instill in him?
Yeah, I think it's an amazing opportunity for him to be on this journey with us and see both of his parents working so hard. And then I think that from my own perspective, that I felt it made me who I am, just easy to adjust to all kinds of different circumstances that I face through life. And so I'm excited for him and to see him hopefully act the same way that I did throughout each move, and just making new friends and making the adjustments, and then see that later on in his life when we're older, and see how it created him as a human being.
So cool. I know I think about that often for my kids too. I love them seeing me work. I love them seeing us both bring something to the table
Mhm.
and also prioritizing our own well being and self awareness is huge. So, again, I'm going to write that quote down somewhere in my house. I love it. And I'm going to say, Chantae said it was fine to be selfish. Thank you so much for joining us today. Tell everyone where they can find you online if they would like to keep up with or follow your journey.
Yeah, my main Instagram is Sean underscore Taymac. That's my name, Chantae, broken up. And then I started the Selling Olympian as well. Those are both on Instagram. I am easy to reach on Instagram. Just message me and I will message you back.
It's true. It's how we got her.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Hopefully, we'll be able to send some clients your way, y'all. If you're
Yeah.
interested in looking into houses in Northern Virginia, we've got a
Yep.
pretty amazing agent in our network now. So, again, thanks for everything, Chantae. We appreciate your
Thank
time.
you.
Yeah. Best of luck.
Thanks.